Okay, Mystery Man Talk Show episode maybe 14 or 15, I'm not really sure. So I just want to kind of sound off today on some things bothering me. Uh, well, you know what? I'm really ticked off at about a lot of things, but I just want to say that I'm really disappointed with hospitals. I'm really disappointed with doctors. I'm disappointed with a lot of things that were set up in my life to try to help me get through a situation. I uploaded back in 2012. you know, I uploaded, it was Mystery Man Talk Show episode 7 unofficially, and it was dealing with schizophrenia and a condition where schizophrenia is more or less contact with a spiritual realm, and it is complex brain chemicals, and some people have worse or less severe cases of this, and just checking to make sure my microphone's coming through. So yeah, anyways, this condition, it varies in intensity and severity, but 2012, it kind of in a way was the end of like a good part of civilization, and it was kind of the end of a good chapter of my life. Anyways, I refer to it as a personal tribulation, which in a way is true. So the things that happened in 2012, I'm not going to get into all the gory details, but I was treated for this condition, which is just being in touch a little too much with spirits. There's not, a psychiatrist in the world that would debate that schizophrenia is more or less hearing spirits. So, if you follow, I'm trying to give some directions or somewhat advice to people who might be suffering from this illness, is don't trust every single thing you hear out of, a fan or air conditioner or a thought in your head that says do something crazy. Try to use common sense, because I fell into a trap with a hospital and following certain misleading spirits. And when I had this condition, I was not doing that great. I was crying out to God for guidance and direction in my life, and I kind of got taken down a path that wasn't very successful, you might say. And today I just want to sound off on how disgusted I am with following stupidity. Uh, so, to go into greater detail, I mean, if you have this illness, I was treated with two medicines, Zyprexa and Risperdal first, when I first, was diagnosed with this, and I went off of both of them. And, it's a problem because, these things, they tend to torment you, these voices or whatever. So, I kind of got led like an idiot, or around circles, and into stupid situations, very dangerous situations. And I ended up getting given a shot of a medicine that's very, very bad, that the FDA needs to pull down and should get rid of. And a lot of these medicines are they're not, capital N-O-T, not good. Zyprexa is a pretty good one, but one of the worst, if not the worst, is one called Invega Sustenna paliperidone palmate. Yeah, it's kind of more of a inoculation for schizophrenia. Uh, it works by a principle that you can inoculate somebody to the overload of dopamine. And it works when they first give it to you. It's given on a Q weekly basis. They give you 2 shots, and then monthly, and if you're not dead in a year, you keep getting it. So, for my personal experience, I just wanted to say what happened to me when I was given this shot at certain hospitals, I won't say, out of respect for the bastards that probably still work there. And I'm not going to give names, I'm just very pissed and disgusted, and this is more of just what happened to me. So, you probably know who you are, you know what you did, and you know how you screwed me up. And I just want this video out there, if anybody's been screwed up, in this way, to, share this video, Maybe we can get these places closed down sooner. Maybe we can get these, if enough people, pursue justice, justice comes, putting aside the whole world falling apart factor. I'm just talking about this illness today. So what happened to me was, a whole series of very bad things when I got this medicine, Johnson & Johnson, the ones who make it, I can't, money wouldn't even serve justice, I mean, I don't know. I just want to get the word out. So the word is this medicine is horrible. And there's probably, most definitely a lot of other ones like that. But this one is just one of the worst. So when I first got this shot, I had a very bad feeling about it. And the next day I woke up and I couldn't sit. I couldn't sit still. I was in a mental hospital. And they have TV, one of the fringe benefits of a mental hospital is they have TV, right? So this was my second stay, and I just couldn't sit. I couldn't even watch TV. I had a feeling of unease, as I read somewhere on a message board. Unease, and people with genetic factors are more liable to have this problem. So it's genetics. It was a combination of a lot of things. This sitting problem was, very big. It was a very big issue. Being able to sit, take for granted. And then it gets even worse because, it gives you highly suicidal feelings when you get the shot. When I got out of the hospital after I got my second shot, it makes you feel like you want to end your life, because my life was kicking back, relaxing, playing video games, and trying to enjoy what little life quality I had, and this shot practically wrecked it. So, from 2013 to 2016, I had this restless feeling, and I needed, moving imagery, the eyes had to be processing information to the brain. Sometimes that would help, sometimes it wouldn't. It's like, it was just, not to mention the feelings in the hospital, like a manic dementia episode, like just falling apart, just a feeling of falling apart. That happened in the hospital, and when I got out of the hospital, I had a severe dystonic reaction that luckily wasn't permanent, because I was given Benadryl and Cogentin at an emergency facility for this, and luckily the dystonic, it reversed. It wasn't the tardive dystonia, which is the very big bad one that I have now. But this shot, it kind of started to unravel my brain chemistry, and certain family members today really, really reminded me how much I really hate these medicines, and how, I even have family that have been subjugated to this problem too, and it really disgusts me, how people can get railroaded into these things. And this, I just don't want to see people suffer, I don't want to see people being screwed over by people, that are supposed to help you and be there, to get you through things. And this is kind of just a please don't F up, the weakest people, I mean, if you're a doctor, you're supposed to help. You're supposed to want to help people. Why would you become a doctor in the first place? If you're not a people person, go become an abortion doctor. You want people to suffer? Go ahead and be an abortion doctor. You want to be an MD? You want to help people? Then good, be a MD. If you want to help people with psychological problems, you can be a psychiatrist. But the reasoning around being a doctor is to want to see people improve. Don't make it all be about greed. That's from the doctor perspective. Don't just be about greed. Be about helping people. Be about helping the sick. Inoculations are helpful, beneficial, but some of them really aren't. Some of them are, some of them aren't. You have to do your own research on that to pick out which ones are best for you. I mean, like they really, you can't really do that nowadays. But anyways, a little off track, but I just don't like these medicines, Risperdal and Vega. I mean, lithium, is probably the first medicine that was given for this condition. They had very little options in the 20s, when, mental illness became prominent, but it goes back, the prophets, anybody who hears a voice or something, it's not there, could be classified as mentally ill, but, people who are tormented by these things, then you're classified mentally ill in this, day and age. So, regardless, though, it's not, the 1920s and 1930s where they had lithium, shock treatment, Haldol, these medicines, are garbage. They really are, they have good ones. Zyprexa is pretty good. I believe that Zyprexa is probably the best. Clozapine, you got to be careful about. Very, very cautious with clozapine. Don't be misled that they're of the same family, because they're very different medicines from very different eras. Do your history research. Clozapine is from the 60s. Zyprexa came out in the late, I want to say it was the late 80s. So this medicine is separated by 2 decades, even though they're classified as the same family. They're olanzapine and clozapine are very different medicines. So if you have mental illness and you have AIDS or something, or HIV, and you take clozapine, bad idea. Talk to your psychiatrist. Don't go for it. Don't do it. You're setting yourself up. Magic Johnson had mental illness, and I said, Magic, do you want a magic pill that'll put you out of your misery? And I handed him a clozapine, and, it's just, how stupid, would that be? I mean, it's just like, how stupid, do these pharmaceutical companies think people are, I mean, people got WebMD, they got the internet. We have all this information age stuff that they didn't have back then. There's so many medicines. The reason I was so afraid of medicines, I heard so many bad stories about so many of them. I heard from a friend, Seroquel impaired his gaming skills. As lame as an excuse as that was, I had bad feelings about that. I heard from another relative that Geodon made their blood pressure go dangerously low or something. I heard that almost everyone, just about everyone, I heard bad stories about. I knew very little about these medicines before I got thrown into this boat, of just checking to make sure this is still recording. Yeah, I'm using some very old equipment here, but I don't know. I'm just sounding off on shitty medicine, because I'm very crippled and disabled now, and I'm just all jacked up, and it's like I almost got stuck in, a nightmare hospital, by people that I thought were there to help me. And I, family, says stupid things too sometimes. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, if you've got problems of this nature, you need to think them out and sort them out yourself. I mean, naturally, if you're hearing voices that are tormenting, and making you do very idiotic things, you're probably going to end up in a hospital environment. But you can try to use common sense. You need to decisively, try to make the best decision out of a situation. If a voice says take off your shoes and leave them, and you're gonna go walk around, that's probably a bad advice you're getting from that voice or spirit or whatever. So you don't want to do that. You keep your shoes on. You can't even go into a business without shoes and a shirt, and pants naturally or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's just stuff like that. You have to hold on to common sense or you're going to get screwed up, I mean, it's just you've got to try to use your own 2 cents. You might have a voice in the back of your head that says do this or that, but you got to use your own common sense, your own will of decising a situation and deducing the best possible outcome, using the best resources or best mechanisms to deal with that situation. I probably didn't do that. I fell down pitfalls, you might say, a lot of them. And, so I was on Risperdal for 2 years after the Invega didn't work out, and I stopped it. It was stopped at medical advice, and I stopped the Invega. I had 2 shots of it that did a lot of damage, and I read somewhere it's an irreversible antagonist. Brain chemistry is delicate stuff. It's once it's effed up, it's kind of effed up. If you get cancer, you're effed up. You got a problem there. If you break a bone, you got a problem there. If it's just how you deal with situations like that. I mean, it's the what do you do factor. What do you do in a situation where you have a crisis? How do you handle a crisis is the big thing. If you have a crisis of your health, crisis of a mental breakdown, you're at a job, you have a panic attack, things like that, what do? You need to calm yourself, you need to relax, you need to, take a deep breath or whatever and just try to remove yourself from the situation and just, put yourself out of the situation and just kind of think calmly and try to rationally deduce, how do I deal with this? What's the wise, way to handle this? So, learning from past mistakes of this nature, it's, here I am, it's 2018 and then I have tardive dyskinesia and I don't understand it. It's really, so many people have so many different forms of this, and I have a very serious one, and I don't want anybody to get screwed over any worse, with this problem, with this condition. And just if you have the advantage of you have a psychiatrist or something in a home and you have the options of medicines, just try to stick with ones that are safer. Don't get a con job. Doctor, if you think you're sick, you think you got cancer, there's things you can do to improve your health. ATP level is the cellular strength of your molecular chain. Drink healthier stuff, eat fruits and vegetables. You know, boost those ATP levels. If you have cancer, if you feel sick, you know, you probably, your immune system, is a big clue. If you have cancer, you can tell. You feel sick, you feel sluggish, run down. You probably got early stages of cancer in some part of your body. Cancer, it goes into remission, it comes back. It has all kinds of cycles. Viruses like herpes, tuberculosis, even HIV. Not HIV that much, but like herpes, it goes into remission. It goes dormant. It has dormant cycles. It has active cycles. It's affected by climates, food you eat, bacteria, all kinds of things. So, with all that said, I only have for about 45 minutes to make this recording. But anyways, it's just, try to figure out what's best. A lot of people, in the hot weather, if you have to drink a soda, you have to drink a soda, but try not to do too much of that. There's other alternatives. There's juice, there's Gatorade, there's all kinds of different, drinks out there, water. Doesn't work for some people. There's all kinds of sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, sweet corn refined, and all kinds of things like that. NutraSweet, Circulose, aspartame. There's all kinds of stuff on. It agrees with some people it don't. Everybody's different, so it's hard to say. I'm trying to figure out what to do with myself. Sugar cane, pure sugar cane is really expensive to import. And some companies, it's not profitable to do it. So they Pepsi with the real sugar, that's good. It's real sugar, it's real sugar cane, is better than, the high fructose is better, and that's better than aspartame, for some people, and so on and so forth. It's one step up, one step up. It's just figure out what works best for you. Take things out of your diet, that are not good, before it's too late. This is like a before it's too late video for people who are on the edge of oblivion, for their health or whatever. Mental health, physical health, whatever, Just try to take control of the situation you're in, before it's too late. If you're alcoholic, try to watch something that makes you happy without having to drink. If you drink vodka, step down to Budweiser. If you drink Budweiser, step down to whatever. It's like a step down from the apocalypse in a way. Step down from your own apocalypse humanity. Step down from your own destruction, before it's over. Let's try to just do the best we can. And that's about it. This is Mystery Man. If anybody remembers or cares, I was MysteryMan2K6. I uploaded, some videos that were pretty good. Some weren't that great, but you know what? This is my little talk show that nobody really liked, and I'm back again for some more, unpopularity probably, but I just felt like doing this, and I did it. It's done, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if it gets 5 views or 1 million, which would be miraculous, whatever. But I did it, and I just felt like doing it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to listen to somebody more reputable, go try Alex Jones or something. He's been around for 23 years or whatever. I'm not him, but I'm me, so, do whatever you like. Do it. Open your own, mystery talk show or whatever, if you can do better. This is mine. Hope you enjoyed it.